So a few days ago, we got almost 2 feet of snow at our house, and as I was using my Craftsman snowblower, the four-way chute control stopped working, stopped going side to side. So I did a little bit of investigative work and found that the roll pins had stopped working. So what I've had to do so far is take out this bar. Take out that bar there. Just take out, there's a pin that goes into there. Just pull that pin out, and then you can just pull out this bar straight out. And then there's a couple of bolts. A couple of bolts on the side of the snowblower. 2 on each side. And all 4 of those have to be removed. And another trick you need to remember is that you've got to put your gears all the way up at number 6 so that this cover will release. So this cover pulls up, and now you can see here my chute control does not turn the chute. So when you look inside here, there's supposed to be a pin in that hole right there. And while I was clearing the snow, that pin broke. And here is the left of the left of the pin. I just took a pair of vice grips and pulled the last of that out. So now I'm going to attempt to put in a new roll pin. Now the trick here is that this 4-way chute control, the manufacturer does not sell replacement pins. They sell this whole unit as a part that you have to replace. So I went to my local Harbor Freight Tools and I got this pack of roll pins, and this thing cost me $5. And they told me that I would also need this guy too. I bought it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use it or not. I don't know, but I have it just in case. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to try assembling this. I'm not going to be able to take video of this as I'm working, but I will keep you posted how this goes. By the way, I'm sorry that I'm not opening the garage door. It's 8 below 0 outside, and I'm trying to stay warm here in the garage with a heater going too. Okay, so one more step I ended up taking was that here is the 4-way chute control right here. And there are 6 bolts that connect right there up into this mount. You just take that out, and I was able to have better access to this 4-way chute control. And now you see that I have successfully placed a pin in there, and I'll explain to you how I did that. So the roll pin that you need is the 5/32, and I used the 5/32 inch by 1 inch to go in, and that matched up with the size of the little portion that I pulled out of the broken part. And then I took a pair of vice grips. Well, first back up here. See, if you look at this pin, you'll notice that there's 2 parts. The one side of the pin is just a flat cut off edge, but if you look at the other side of the pin, you notice that it's got a bit of a rounded off cut off edge for starting it in. So what I ended up doing was taking and putting the pin into a pair of vice grips and just pinched it closed. And then I needed a 3rd set of hands, so I just had my neighbor come over and he held this in place while I used a hammer, and I started off with the 5/32 inch punch to get it started. Once we were able to get that punch started, we were able to take the vice grips away, and then I just got a much bigger punch. In fact, this punch was a 1/4 inch punch, and I just had a bigger surface area and just hammered that down into place. And you notice it sticks out on both sides, but that matches the same thing that is on the other pins that are in place. So now that I've got that pin in place, I'm just going to take, and I'm not going to be able to do this and show it at the same time because I need both my hands, but I'm just going to take this assembly, I'm going to take the little joystick there and place it up in that hole, and then I'm going to have to take my bolts and bolt those back into place. I've got the 4-way chute assembly back installed. I've got all 6 of those bolts installed. So now it's just a question of picking up this cover and just putting it back into place. Putting it back into place, it's got, sorry about making you dizzy there. With 2 hands this would be easier, but it just slides into place like that. And now I've just got to take and put my bolts back on each side. You notice this bar came off of there too, so you got to put this bar back up into place there at the back of the bolts on each side. I've got all 4 bolts back in place. I got that bar put in. My light has fallen out, so I'll just replace that in a second. But now I'm ready to put this bar back in place. So I've got to put this end into that hole, and the trick of getting it to line up so that the chute works correctly. I'm going to pause here and put it in place. I've got the bar in place, so now it's time to put the pin in. Put that pin into place. We have 2 hands here. The pin is in place, and the moment of truth. There goes the chute, side to side. I'll follow up with one more tip here, because when I first put it in, I found that when I had my joystick and moved the chute, it wasn't all going from all the way from one side to the other side. So I pulled this pin back out, and then I turned the handle, the joystick, push the lever up so you can release the lock and pull the chute by hand all the way over to the side, and make sure the joystick is all the way over to that same side, and then get this pin in place. And then that made it line up, so they went all the way from one side to the other side. Now let me just preface this statement here with this video that I am not a mechanic. I don't do this kind of stuff on a day-to-day basis, and I was able to figure it out. It did take me, I don't know, a couple of hours to get it done and involve the neighbor, but I got it done, and I saved myself the money of having to buy the 4-way chute assembly.